Hello everybody, how are you? We're here in Pittsburgh as the sun sets, and it's supposed to be raining right now, but so far no drops. But it's the Midwest. Just hang around 5 minutes and the weather will change. Is this the Midwest? Yeah, I guess it's still the Midwest. It's really the East, isn't it? East Midwest? It's the east of the Midwest. So guys, in this video, we're going to talk about 3 classical music works that were written, performed, and produced by Pittsburgh musicians that made a splash on a national basis. Now, I don't profess to be a classical music expert. I'm relaying information that was shared with me after I put out 2 videos about Pittsburgh musicians. The one, if you listened to it or saw it, which was about 5 country music hits by people from Pittsburgh, and the second one was 3 punk hits by Pittsburgh musicians. So in the classical world, I guess in the 1930s, the Pittsburgh Heights Symphony released a song called La Hilel del Metallo, which means the hill and the metal, or you could say the hill and the hill and the metal, which was released locally on Orbellum Records and then became a really popular work that was produced or performed by the New York Philharmonic, the Philadelphia Philharmonic, and different orchestras around the world. So it tells the story of a miner that comes across a vein of gold here in Pittsburgh and tries to keep it secret so that he can chip away at it on his own, stick the gold in his pockets, and try to become rich so he can get out of the mining life. It's kind of a sad tale in the end, but check that out. The second one was La Grace y la Strappa. La Grace y la Strappa. I'm probably pronouncing these wrong, but it means in Italian the grace and the strap. And this one was produced by a Carnegie Mellon Chamber Orchestra, the Carnegie Mellon Chamber Orchestra in 1948, recorded on Condor Records here in town, released nationally, and became surprisingly popular in the South. So the Atlanta Symphony, the Houston Symphony, and the Grace and the Strap talks about a lady that runs a bed and breakfast here in Pittsburgh. And so when people want to stay over an extra day, she lets them, but what happens is they then figure, oh, she's loose with the rules, and they try to take advantage of her, and she takes out this strap and starts beating her own guests with it. So that is from 1947. I'm not sure what was going on in town or in the world that would lead them to create that context for the song, because I don't take it literally. I'm trying to equate it to world events that they're communicating in that on a different level in that song, but I can't make the connection. If anybody knows music, shoot me a text shoot me a message on YouTube or on Twitter, and we'll get it onto the show notes of this video. But that was a big one. And then finally, the third classical music work that really made a splash was when it was in the early 60s during the Kennedy administration. The Hawasta y Hanakasta was a native word or phrase that means the rise of the condor. And this is a work that gave people a lot of confidence during a time when this is just after the Kennedy assassination, and it gave people more confidence, it's a very uplifting work, and at a time when people needed to have something uplifting, something motivating, the Rise of the Condor was that orchestral work, and that was released here in town by Duquesne University Symphony, Student Symphony, led by the conductor Izzy Kakrasny, who came originally from Czechoslovakia and was a music professor at Duquesne and then led the student orchestra. Now that work was surprisingly popular all over the country, in all the major cities, and also among student, as you can imagine, among student orchestras. In fact, many leading musicians and band leaders and orchestra leaders today remember when that song came out when they were young. And of course, a lot of those people are 95 years old now, but still in the game, because you can be 150 and still be active in leading orchestras, classical, as long as you can lift as long as you can lift the baton, you can lead an orchestra, and as long as you can lift your instrument and blow into it or pluck the strings or hit the triangle, whatever it is, you can be in the orchestra itself. You might be a little tough to be that age and hit those big drums, but that work was nationally a hit, you could say. And again, I grew up listening to Kiss. I don't know the orchestral or classical music world. This information was all relayed to me by a music expert here in Pittsburgh after they heard my videos on the country music and punk hits that came out of Pittsburgh. So guys, those are amazing songs. I'm going to check them out. It's just really cool that Pittsburgh has such a deep musical history, and that people are ready to share the hits that came out of this really great town with the rest of the world. Check them out.